I'm gonna ask you this because I ain't never asked no, and you can refuse to answer if you want to, but I'm gonna just ask.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed. Have you noticed that most of the people who gain status, I ain't gonna say all, but most of the people who gain status, once
Mm-hmm.
you really get to know them in this city, they be fake.
Yep. 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 Yep.
Because I ain't gonna call no names, but I'm gonna keep it real. There's a couple dudes, a couple women too, who I know. They got all the they in the in crowd in Chattanooga.
Mm-hmm.
So once I got to know them and I seen how they would sell out to stay in the in crowd,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm
You're like,
straight.
nah, man. It make you change your make you change your whole perspective on them.
But it's like our city, man. It's like our city have that mentality of
It's that still that crab in the bucket. Crab in the bucket. You try to get out, but you still get pulled back down by your own folks. And once you get a little fine, man, people just uh
because one thing a guy was telling me at work, man, he was like, bruh, he said, he pulled me to the side. He said, man, I want to tell you this. And I feel like it apply to you too. He was
mm-hmm,
like, bruh, for what you doing, all the stuff you put out for us, just knowledge wise. He said, I see how many people that follow you or friends with you on the book and all this other stuff. He said,
mm-hmm,
you should have more engagement than you got. And that made me think about something.
mm-hmm.
And I was like, it made me think about the question I just asked you. And then it made me recognize once you real in this city,
You're gonna get overlooked, man. That's automatic. You're gonna get overlooked.
why you think that is? Why you think they overlook the real ones?
Because man, when you speaking that truth, man, it just go in and out. Like when you trying to give somebody knowledge or put them on, get them knowledge about something, man. Most folks don't want to hear it if you got a closed mind. So only the open minded people, the ones gonna be able to understand it. So it just depends on the mindset of the person when you talking to them. Like man, I can I can speak the wisdom all day, but if you don't have the open mind to listen, that is gonna go in they're gonna go in and out of the other ear. So it's just like it's falling on deaf ears. But if you been through some things and like you won't change, and then you hear someone music like man, you gonna completely understand it, man, because you you know the feels, you know the emotion, you know what I'm coming through, you know where I'm trying to go with it. So that's why I get like my diehard fans. It's just the ones who have an open mind and want to understand and want to do better in life. But yeah, most of the time, man, it fall on deaf ears, man.
So you have you since have you peeped that in your career so far that like, man, I know I'm hitting home, so I know it should be more
Mm-hmm.
people than what it is engaging.
Yeah, most definitely. Because man, when I came out my first video, man, but before then, didn't nobody really know who I was. But the first day I came out, I did 10,000 views the first day. That just off no promotion, no ads, no nothing. That's just me just putting some music out, just putting a video out, and just let it see what it do. But man, I deal with that trouble. Like, man, like, okay, we know KB Cole, but we don't want to hear that right now. We wanna turn up in the club right now. Like people tune in to my music like when they going through something. Like let it be a crisis going on. My screen's going through the roof. My screen's going through the roof every time. But
Yeah.
then after that little situation that down, man, we want to turn up, we want to party. And which that's cool. But either way it go, Red, if you want to turn up or not, my mission gonna always be the same.
Cause man, like, okay, for instance, me and you both, we was on the I Can't Breathe song.
Yes, sir.
So, and due to the fact that George Floyd just happened,
Mm-hmm.
And then it was Juneteenth. We dropped the video. The
Right.
video went crazy.
It went stupid.
Then after that, they kept playing it, but it's like you said, it's like, okay, let's go back to normal.
Let's go back to normal. Let's go back. Turn up. Let's pull the lean. Let's turn up.
It's crazy because honestly, bro, from your first video to whatever the last song you dropped, you ain't stopped the message and you ain't stopped being consistent. But it's like you should have the same 10,000 fans or 20 or whatever you had at first. That
Mm-hmm.
should be your core audience. But I think I'm gonna be honest. I think if you was in New York or the A, you'll have a bigger reception.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like no matter how cold you are, you got to be on some diamond stuff down here, and
You
that's
got to. You got to. But man, I stand on too much morals and principles to even let myself even go out like that. I was just like, man, the price of fame is not worth that to me. I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it to change the change lives and like just showing people a better way, man. So going out on crash dummy missions, man. No, I'm not even gonna allow myself to do that. I will stop doing it before I even have to attempt to even do that.
all right.
Like if I can't do it my way, I'm just not gonna do it at all.
All right, I got a question, and
What's happening?
it's gonna be dope. Like,
What's up?
say you had this two part. Say you had a young man in front of you
Mm-hmm.
who you seen was finna go on a crash dummy mission, like you just spoke on.
Right?
What would you tell him? Like, if cause I know you projected through your music, but if you could talk to him directly for a few minutes, what would you tell a young man who about to go on a crash dummy mission?
Look, bro, is you thinking about your mama? Thinking about your sisters? I don't know if you got a child or not. Like, is you thinking about them? Like, come on, bro. You willing to go down the road for some folks who not even gonna put money on your books? Like, if something was to happen, if you was to get killed today, it's gonna be your mama and your family have to raise money and do fish fries to bury you, bro. You wanna do that, bro? Like, bro, come on. I start naming people. Like, okay, you remember, bro, from this so and so and so and so and so. I'm like, bro, look at him now, bro. He in the penitentiary serving 40 years, bro. You want to do that? You want to do that just because you want to be loyal to a gang that ain't loyal to you, bro? Come on, man. Man, with them, bro, you just got to shoot it to them straight, bro. Like you can't really sugarcoat it because these conversations that I have, like with a lot of youngers, just from around the way, bro. Like when I just see them like stealing bikes. I mean, I even had these conversations with my own nephews. Like my nephews, they getting of age now, like 19 to 20, almost 21 years old. But man, when they was coming to age, being like 13, 14 years old, man, they was doing like a lot of robberies and all that. I just really had to sit them to the side, like, bro, like, come on, you're gonna mess up your whole life because of that. And then now they starting to realize that, like, when you got felonies and stuff on your records, you can't even get a job. So I was just like, man, you really have to be honest with them, and like, you got to give them examples of people that they know. And like, bro, okay, you can go down that road if you want to, but look, this is what you can expect. And I'm like, bro, you can look at your uncle and you can see the route that I'm taking. You see what I'm doing, and if you want this, it's attainable. Like you can get it, and I'm gonna show you how to get it. It's just all about having someone right beside you to guide you. So I just think this what they need, man. People just really need that guidance.
So so that would be you providing to them what Ronnie Hill provided to you.
Mm-hmm. But more so with Ronnie Hill, it wasn't about what he told me. It was about more what he showed me.
Wow, hey, check this out. And you said he didn't even verbalize it. But
He showed me.
the reason you got the message is because of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Because you sitting there, you strategizing, you looking, okay, Pops did this. I
I was
see.
doing,
I see
yeah.
what happened from this. So let
Mm-hmm.
me, man, I don't want that. Let me go over here.
I don't want that, man. I give you a prime example, man. I was probably like 8 years old, and Ranny was dropping me and my mom off downtown Chattanooga. I grew up in that area, downtown Chattanooga, and I remember the police pulling us over, and they called him by name. Told him to get out the car. They somebody had snitched on him, so he had to end up going away for a while. And I remember them coming back to our house, bum rushing our house, and he about to take my mama to jail. So it's just like, man, I don't want to bring that. I don't want to bring that on my family like that lifestyle. So that's another reason why I didn't choose that route, because I've seen the pain that it did to me and my family this when running was going through it. So that's one of them things like, man, I really want different. I don't want to my mama crying and worrying about where I'm at, or if I'm coming home, or me being in jail, or none of that.
Man, it's crazy, but like, if just think though, your mind was sharp enough to say, "Nah, this ain't it."
Mm-hmm.
I've heard dudes say, I don't know if you ever looked at somebody who whole goal was to go to the penitentiary,
Yeah, yeah,
like that be
yeah.
their
I
whole
got
goal.
Yeah, I got homeboys like that. They probably have an uncle or they dad or cousin or something like that. And that's the main issue that I had with my nephews, because they older brother was like a high ranking gang member, in which he was gunned down a few years ago. But as they was coming up, they was like, okay, my brother is this dude, and like he in and out the penitentiary. And I'm like, man, how do y'all want to follow that and knowing like all the stuff that he getting into? Uh, man, oh man.
Like, think about this though. I think this why, and you correct me if I'm wrong. Not just
Right?
with them, but anybody. Like, if they don't have the mindset that you got,
Mm-hmm.
and they look at this dude, oh, this our role model. Cause
Mm-hmm.
you got youngsters who do this. Oh, man, big bro, he got respect, he got whatever, and don't nobody play with him.
Mm-hmm.
And they look at him going to the penitentiary. He know how to saddle up and handle his business.
Right.
So they say, man, that's what I want to be. And in their mind, they like, man, he a OG, I'm gonna be a OG.
right. Right.
And it's crazy. Like, the program, man, it goes past the TV, because okay, the TV might program the OG to be the OG. Now, just like Ronnie did to you, you seen it different, but it's programming the little baby or the little brother. Man,
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, you ever seen this? Dudes who have children or have little cousins, they be from a hood, they throw up the hood, and they tell, hey man, throw that up. And they taking pictures
Mm-hmm.
with them. Then they whole existence, they done been brought up to be that.
You become a product of your environment.
Man, it's
Man, I see that so much. Like what I'm seeing now, the dudes my age, I'm seeing like they little brothers, like who's kids, like when we was coming up, they coming up doing the same exact thing. And back then they was probably like about 8, 9 years old. Now they starting to reach 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. And it's just a repeated cycle.
like, why you think, all right, we both have, I'm gonna go and touch on it. We both have these churches, we both have these schools. Why you think people ain't really intervening? They say they are, but I'm talking about for the mass. Now you got a few people who are. I ain't gonna say everybody ain't, but why you think most people be like, man, I'm straight. I don't want to deal with it.
Because man, they don't want that on their back. Man, the more knowledge you get, the more of a target you become. That's
Cause
really all that is. So they They don't want to help the solution. They just want to help to the destruction of the black man. They want us to fail, so they don't want to intervene.
But this one thing I don't understand about us being, especially the black man. In our culture, we are taught to hate the police, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the things that we also do, we keep the police employed.
Yeah, we keep the police in business. Yeah.
I just, for the life of me, I just don't understand. I'm like, bro, you say you hate 12, F12 and all that. But you out here campaigning, as Jay Prince say, to get elected by 12.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that, okay, if I kick in the door, or I rob a dude, and I'm doing this, and I got this pack, and I'm pushing this dope, that's how I campaign to go to prison.
Right.
So how do I hate the police if that's how I'm campaigning? Seem like I love them.
Nah, man, that's just a gimmick, man. That's all that is. You just hate the police because everybody else hate the police.
But this is my thing. Can I get mad at you if I come on your job, whatever your job, and you do your job? Can I get mad at you for doing your job?
Nah, you're just doing your job. You're just doing your job. But I think when people get mad, it's just how they abuse their power. But that's really a different story. I mean, that's kind of off. But if you're just doing your job and just doing what you're supposed to do, then I have no reason to hate you. It's just when you abuse your power and you abuse your authority, and then you just use excessive force, then that's where it becomes an issue.
I'm with that. This is my thing too. This is me. I understand where the police come from.
Mm-hmm.
Like I understand that the police
you're supposed to protect and serve. So that's your job. You put your life. You took an oath to protect and serve the people.
Like, check this out. You know what it was really formed? Like the origins of the police? Check this out. I'm gonna give it to you. After slavery, the origins of the police were to find a way to entrap the ex-slave to be a slave again.
I have heard of that. I just didn't know that term. I didn't know it in that. I didn't know it was an actual thing, but I've actually heard of that.
Yeah, because what they did after slavery, they said, okay, now all these dudes free. The people who was pushing this label, they was free. And they even put it in the law. The 13th Amendment says if you commit a crime, it could be punishable by slavery.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why when you go to jail and you working and you getting slave wages because you just signed up to be a slave again.
All right.
So
that makes sense too. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
The original police, the police was really like, what were they called? The original laws were called slave codes.
Slave codes. Okay.
And see, the police, we are taught the police are, I'm going to break it down even like this. The word police, they changed the spelling. It's really paid for by the rich, leased out to the poor. Poor lease.
Poor lease.
They just flipped it on us. So what they do is, all right, we gonna protect and serve the people who got this bag, this real bag.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they break in my house or your house, man, we'll get there when we get there. But they break in this business, this multi-million-dollar business, who really fund our salary. Oh, we got to get there. Or matter of fact, we gonna make sure they don't break in their business because we gonna be stationed around it.
All right.
So they were meant to protect and serve. They protect the business and serve the poor man.
Mm-hmm.
So they doing their job. You just gotta understand they function.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then it's like, even with us, the reason they'll kill us and keep it pushing Two reasons. For one, when they look at me and you, they look at, we don't even see a full human when they look at us. So not only are we gonna kill you, but based on the law, we ain't even gonna do no time. Because for one, we got qualified immunity. Then we look at you as 3/5 of a human being. You're not even a whole person.
3/5 of a man.
Well, what they do is, they tell us, okay, go and apply these principles, and you gonna be all right.
But who do they really work for?
The people that they look at as human beings.